I just want to give a quick thanks to the Tier 5 channel members and patrons. Bob the Dragon, Datamagnet, Sergeant Puma, Cat Crab Lobster, and Duck Machine. Thank you very much for the support. It is much appreciated. Assimilation, written by Weerdo5255. Humans are odd. Introduced into the galactic community only about 110 of their years ago, they have already made themselves one of the most important species in the galaxy. From a biological standpoint, they are fairly standard with tolerances for heat and cold, pressure and vacuum within the mid-range for most species. They are not exceptionally strong, nor do they possess weapons or strategies more effective than anything else that other species have produced. Humans are, from an almost any standpoint, average, and just another species amongst the hundreds within the galactic community. But the humans possess one ability that makes them unique. Assimilation is what makes them amazing, and an individual species on the political stage of the galaxy. Before humanity showed up, interaction between different species was terse. Wars were common enough, and any attempts to form alliances or federations of any sort fell apart. The different species of the galaxy were set in their ways to determine that the way they did was the only correct way. Too big-headed to see that together the different species of the galaxy could accomplish those things every spacefaring culture had been dreaming of, but none could complete. A galactic wormhole system, a Dyson sphere, an energy harvester around a black hole. Most species dreamed of these things, and many more. But as a whole, the galaxy was stagnant, and had been for nearly 10 generations of my species. Everyone in the galaxy was content with their little corner of space, never to know the grandeur of what we could accomplish together. The humans arrived on my planet, like many other had before, in a small exploratory ship preaching peace and partnership. We let them land simply to make sure that they would not bother us again in the future. Instead of swaggering military bravado or pretentious religious preachers, the first humans my species encountered were a family, and dedicated to not exploration of space, but of other cultures. We scoffed at first, thinking this simply a more elaborate ruse, a foolish newborn's attempt to bring us around to their way of thinking. We were proven wrong, and for the first time as a species, we were glad that we were. The humans did not do much for the first dozen souls on our planet, except watch us, not as one would look at a prey or something inferior like a lab experiment, but as one would look at a companion. The children especially were the most interesting, small little things barely larger than one of my feet. The curiosity in their eyes and the eagerness inside their souls was not something that could be staged or manufactured. Their gazes and questions were disconcerting to the people they asked, for the small humans did not spout what their elders taught. They instead asked why we did things our way. After watching us for a time, the humans tentatively began to interact with us. At first, with only the disgruntled handlers watching them, but soon they were roaming the cities of our world. Gone were the single garments that they had worn on their ship, replaced with their traditional robes of my species. The males painted their limbs as a man in my culture would, showing the profession that they had taken and how many children that they had had. For 10 years they remained on our planet, their children growing up on the dirt of my world. It took us a long time to realize that we had accomplished what we had tried to do so many generations ago. We had taught another species how to act, what was right and what was wrong. It had not been in our initiative, though, and it had not been intentional on our part. The humans had sought us out and changed themselves. We were stunned to think that a species would give up what was most important to them to interact with us, to throw away their very culture. The humans laughed at us and said that our cultures were not very different at all. They had wanted to learn about ours, to take the knowledge home to their own, to enhance their own culture. They explained that texts or other mediums of knowledge were not enough. They had to experience our culture for themselves to understand it. For the first time, we were curious. What type of culture, what type of world would spawn a creature like the humans? They invited us to travel back to their home world with them, or at least the older humans did. The small ones, now grown, chose to stay on my world, claiming that it was their home. I joined the humans on their ship and traveled with them to their home world. When we arrived, the humans did not stop acting like they were from my world. They continued to wear my culture's clothes and act as if they were on my planet. Their fellow humans did not reject them, instead embraced them. They embraced me. They did not demand that I change. They demanded that I change them. They demanded to know anything that I could about my culture and my world. I soon discovered that I was not the only alien on the strange planet. Hundreds of other species, more than I had ever seen, were gathered on the humans' home world. The humans themselves were as diverse as the aliens. A human dressed in the garb of a violet francolin, a human tattooed to match the yarn next to her, a human enduring the pain of spikes in his feet as the Talon religion required. All of the humans were different from one another, yet they did not clash. They complemented one another and fed off of the differences. They did not try to change one another. I later learned that humans adored originality. Every different idea or practice as an alien culture was just another to add to their own. I stood with the humans from my world and watched as they all gathered, every different human in a large conference area. The humans sat down and began to discuss bringing our cultures together and forming a better galaxy for us all. I looked around for the first time, feeling some sense of camaraderie with the other species of the galaxy. From what I could interpret, they were as stunned as I was. We had all dreamed of this, but had given up on it as an impossible dream. Now this new species, young and strange, was doing it alone to try and bring us all together. The humans argued amongst themselves. They fought. They representatives of the different cultures did not budge on the important issues of the worlds that had adopted them. For some time I feared that this attempt would fail like all the others. But even at their worst, the humans eventually found a balance that they found a way to accept the differences. Now 100 years later, that dream is realized. It is sad that the humans have such a short lifespan. Few were able to see what they had created. The humans are the most important species in the galaxy. They assimilate into every culture, from the violent warrior clans to the darkest worlds, to the monks seeing enlightenment in the skyships. The humans are the glue and the buffer. They understand our cultures and have taught us all that we need not change. We need not change, but they have taught us all how to be a little more human. End of story. And that, my friends, concludes this video. I hope that you enjoyed.